It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Texans and the Ravens. All that and more coming up next.
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, it's the opener of the 2023 NFL season, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Well, CD, new season is here. Lions and Chiefs got it going on Thursday night. You and I were there. What a scene that was. But now here we are a few days later on Sunday, looking at two teams with great expectations here to begin 2023.
It's always fun to get a new season started, isn't it, partner? Because everyone feels like they've got a shot at the defending champs. They think that they can be the new champs. And here we are getting things going. Let's have some fun.
A new season of NFL football is here, and we're off in 2023 on EA Sports. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. So here are the Texans now with a fresh face at quarterback, the second overall pick from Ohio State, C.J. Stroud.
In only 2 seasons, Stroud showed all he needed to at Ohio State. All-American, Heisman finalist, program records galore. He looks every bit like the #1 overall pick. He went #2, but Houston is thrilled to have him.
Opening play, and Stroud will throw it. And his first pass is incomplete. Well, today, of course, not just the start of the new campaign, it's the debut of DeMeco Ryans as the Houston head coach. Now, we saw him plenty with the 49ers, what he was able to do with that defense. Charles, what do you think he brings to the table for these Texans?
He brings football intelligence. He brings enthusiasm. He brings creativity. This guy wanted to be the head coach of the Houston Texans, twice a Pro Bowler with them in the NFL. He's come home. Now he wants to finish what he started as a player.
The ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. He's thankful right now for that sideline because it could have been a fumble loss, instead just a fumble, though they will have to punt it down.
You're right about that, but do you think there's ever been a player happier to see his own punter go on the field than him?
No.
I mean, not at all, right? How fortunate is he that they got a chance to punt it away, and it's not just a turnover at the spot.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. And take it right on the 30. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Ravens offense set to go to work, and it's Lamar Jackson now at his 6th NFL campaign who will lead the way.
All the talk of Jackson leaving the Ravens this offseason was just that, talk, as the two sides hammered out a deal that made him the highest paid player in the NFL. And why would they want to separate? When he has the ball in his hands, great things typically happen.
A run there on first down, and a pretty good one at 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. Jackson buying time to his left. Power. Oh, and now some space to operate. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Forced out to his left. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So 1st and 10 now in Houston territory. Down at the 33. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Dancing to his left. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. Now it's Jackson. Steps away to his left. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds the defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback, I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
They'll run for it. It's Edwards. And a Good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Edwards now on 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. 2nd and 6. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession. Jackson, as they've got it as we resume action. And this, incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked. On 3rd down, Jackson checks this down to Edwards out of the backfield. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. John Harbaugh going to roll the dice. They're going for it on 4th down. Oh, he fakes a spike. Being chased out left. And that is going to wind up incomplete. So they try to hit him with something you don't see too often, but it doesn't work out. On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. And a healthy gain of 8 here. They double their workspace out to the 16.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Fans, a reminder, coming up at this and every halftime this season, we'll be checking in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando for highlights and analysis and scores from around the NFL here in this opening weekend.
Let's put the coach to work.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Going for it with Pierce. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He'll take it a few steps in front of the 50. Evades the tackler, and now some space. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Jackson on 1st down, rolling to his left. The 20. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. So it looks like we'll have to wait another week to get our first halftime report of the season as we move right along to the 2nd half. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the 2nd half. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll run with Edwards here to begin the drive. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry. And now they're in the hurry up. Here's Edwards again on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd and 1, Jackson buying time to his left. Powering forward. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. 3rd quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Off the option, here's Edwards. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. forced out to his left. There's a nice move, and they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. And quickly, they get to the line. From the red zone now, here's Jackson on first down. Dancing to his left. Fights off the defender. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, a 13-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. Justin Tucker for the extra point. And he's 1 for 1 on the new year as his kick is good. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half.
But Charles, you and I said at intermission, feels like we're set up for a good second half. Well, the other side scored. Now it's up to them to answer. How do they respond here with their first drive of the second half?
Well, bottom line is they just saw the ball go in the end zone against their defense, and they saw what good offense looks like. They believe they've got a good offense as well. Run the best plays you've got to the top performers you have.
Stroud is hit and the ball is loose. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over. And a defensive-minded coach loves to turn up the heat, turns it up there, it pays off.
And back in the good old days, those defensive-minded coaches just talked about intimidating teams, using force, right, beating them to the punch. In this case, they're talking about creating turnovers. That's all they preach, all game long, all practice long, every meeting. Get the football. That's what they want.
Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. On second down, Jackson steps away to his left. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. In the community's eyes and fan.
There's Flowers. He's got it. Touchdown, Ravens. A great play there. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Ravens will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. Now Tucker to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field.
Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run. Back now in Baltimore. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter.
Stroud on 3rd down now.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great effort there with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Ravens are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their fourth quarter lead. Tucker now to add the point after. And it is now 21-0. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And it'll come out to the 25 as King opts for the touchback. Heading out as the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this fourth quarter. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. And they're going to speed things up here. Stroud to throw it. That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. And out across midfield down to the 45. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Again on second down, it's Stroud. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. And Stroud now to throw. That's complete. It's Collins. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Here goes Stroud again. That escapes the sack. I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything.
Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Rock Ya-Sin. And the Ravens are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on fourth down. The drive will come. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And it's a defensive return for a late touchdown. So they still need somewhat of a miracle here, but at least that gets them a little bit closer. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim.
And he loses the football a second time. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Well, I'm guessing that on the sidelines there might be a few words said about that mistake there, but I don't think it's going to hurt them in the long run. They're still going to get out of here with a win.
Yeah, they got the 2-score cushion, but you know what coaches say, Charles? Finish strong.
Finish the game.
Well, they get to Stroud, nowhere to go, and he goes down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Here's Stroud. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though? How about his defensive guys?
So they haven't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
And it'll come out to the 25 as King opts for the touchback. Houston set to take over. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Play action. Stroud now. And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the first down marker. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. 20. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the fourth quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job. Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league. Now here's Stroud. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football. They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Dameon Pierce, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And who's got it? I think the Ravens do, yes. And they're going to win this football game. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it. And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical. Well, CD, always a little extra excitement for week one, and one of our early window games here in week one on a Sunday comes to a close. Good to be back in the booth with you, my friend. And it's good to be back in the booth with you as well. And we know that not everyone's going to start the season 1-0, right? Half the league is going to have a loss on their record, but everyone's going to have to build off of that opener. And how many coaches tell us every single year, you make your most progress between week 1 and week 2. We'll see how both of these teams progress the rest of this season. So for the Ravens, that'll be a happy locker room as they start this season 1-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for Houston, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.